Hello, in this video, we are going to do some basic introductory operations in R, and we will learn more about graphical user interface of RStudio. All right. So I'm assuming that you successfully install R and then RStudio on your computer. If you have encountered any problems, please let me know. But for those who successfully installed R and RStudio based on the guidelines that I posted, then please launch your RStudio. So on my Mac, I will hit Command and Spacebar and search for RStudio. It should pop up on top. And now this is the very untouched graphical user interface that you will see when you launch RStudio on your computer. It is going to be very similar on Windows. So we do have three main screens here. On the left, you do see the console, the basic RStudio's operational console, where you just need to write the code here. All right. On the top right, you do see global environment. So whenever you create a variable or you import a data set or you define a data frame, or any other data structure, they are going to show up here. That will be telling you that those are currently what the computer has in the memory. All right. And here, down here, we do have different options. So we do have, for example, the files page. Currently, I think I'm on my desktop or maybe on my Macintosh main drive. You do see, specific folders that you have. Here on this segment, you do see the plots. Whenever you plot something, they are going to appear here. Packages field, R has lots of packages installed into it. And then as we move forward in this class, we are going to keep adding more packages because packages are open source, freely available to us, and we will get to use them to do data analytics stuff, cool stuff, hopefully. Right, you do see that, which R's, you do see a checkbox next to a package if it is already in use. So our base package is currently in use for me. And there are some other packages that you might see here. And then whenever you need to install a package, you can come over here, or whenever you need to update a package, you can click on it here. On the help menu, it is going to be our friend, our very good friend, because R has a really nice help menu. You can search for anything here on this box, or you can just type something here like help, the package name here in parentheses, and it is going to show up the help menu, the necessary help menu on the bottom right. Okay. But before we do that, let's type our first command in R. Right. So let's say that I would like to create a variable x, and then I would like to assign a value of 5 to it. And I just type x equals to 5, and then it executes it, and it defines a variable here like x. It's a numeric variable, and its value is 5. You could also use, instead of equals to sign, let's create another variable y less than hyphen, and let's create a value of 10. All right, let's hit enter or return. It will also create a variable whose name is y and with a value of 10, right? So equals to and less than hyphen does the same thing here in R. R is case sensitive. So for example, if I use capital X and assign a value of 10, well, it will create a capital X variable with a value of 10. Okay, so X, small x and capital X, those are stored as different variables in the memory of our computer because R is case sensitive. Well, R can do basic calculations like, x plus y. If you hit enter, it's going to return you a value of 15. Well, that's actually what it is, right? So x plus y, x is currently 5, y is currently 10. You add them up and it is 15. It is not going to incorporate, it is not going to show 15 here because we have not assigned it to a variable, right? It just prints out the value that comes out of this equation. If you would like to keep it in a variable, let's say t, all you have to do is t is equal to x plus y and hit enter. Well, t is just created as a variable here on R's memory, right? And then if you would like to display the value of t, then you just need to, just type t and then hit return or enter. You will see the value of t. All right. So console is nice, but unfortunately, once you exit your RStudio and you don't save it, you cannot really return them back up here, right? That's why we create our scripts, and I'm going to show you the one that I just created for you, and we're going to go over the R's basic operations on that script. But before I do that, let me show you another hint. So if you would like to retrieve the most current comment that you enter R's console and you would like to retrieve that, all you can do right now is to hit the upper pointing arrow on your keyboard, and it will retrieve the most current comments you put in R's console, right? So those are all previous comments that I have used on R's console, and it is going to print out to them, right? So you can also hit down pointing arrow key on your keyboard, and it's going to come to the very most recently used. And this point, it is the empty because I haven't put in it there, put in anything in there yet. All right, so let's try to. I posted this file, RScript file, on Canvas, but let's try to open it up and run RScript. Well, if you'd like to create an RScript, it's very easy. If you need to go to, you just need to go to File, New File, RScript, and it creates another empty file, empty screen here. And this is going to be very handy when you would like to store your code, your scripts, store it on your computer and retrieve it back to modify it or rerun it. All right, that's what our scripts are. Unfortunately, console files cannot be stored, and that's why we use our scripts. So I already created an RScript file for you. Let me find it. You can see it on Canvas as well. In this case, I'm going to go open file because I already stored it somewhere on my computer. So I stored it on my Dropbox, Florida Southern courses, data analytics courses, modules, module 1R, code and data, and the R scripts file name is rbasics.dataframes.r. I am going to open it up. And from this point forward, we are going to run all these line comments together in this video, at least the first, very first 10 or 12 lines of the code together in this video. So the rest is going to come up in different videos, all right? So this is our script file. I stored it, I saved it on my computer, and whenever I back it up on my computer, you see that these are all the necessary codes that I stored before. And you can simply run the whole thing like once, right? You can click on run and then run the whole thing once. But usually when you do iteratively, when you work on your data set iteratively, what you do is you do run it line by line or just piece of code chunks, right? The way that you do it is, for example, let's focus on the first line, right? So it says 3 plus 7, and let's try to run this, just this first line, right? I put my cursor here on the first line. I clicked on it, right? It is on the first line right now. And what I do is I hit Command and Enter, okay? I hit Command Enter and Enter. The result is demonstrated here on the console section, right? What it did is once I hit Command and Enter, when my cursor is here, it executed this line and it copied and pasted that comment that I put in this R script, right? The line that I executed in the console, and it showed me the result. 3 plus 7 is 10. And then it is demonstrating the result here. Okay, it's not storing it as a variable because I did not assign it to a variable. I just would like to see the end result, right? So if you're operating on PC, it is Control and Enter. If you put your cursor on the first line and then hit Control and Enter, it should do the same thing, all right? So this pound key or hashtag key is commenting out whatever coming up right after it. R is understanding that this is just a node, for example, right? It just executed 3 plus 7, and it did not really touch the line section right after it sees the pound key, right? And I just put my code here, a comment here saying that this is just a comment line, and I understood that it's a node. If you come over here, for example, on line 2 and hit comment and enter, it does nothing. because R understands that it is actually a command line. As a matter of fact, it created a variable, capital X, and assigned 5 to it, right? We already did that on the console, right? We already, well, actually, we assigned X equals to 10 previously, and right after we executed this, it changed the value of to 5, okay? Before I go further, let me see if I can zoom into this section so that you can see better. I believe it should be global options, appearance. Yeah, I would like to zoom in further. This is much better. Yes, all right, okay. All right, so I think you should be able to see it much better. All right. So I am on this line. As I said, you can use less than a hyphen on a line, and then you would like to execute this code. You just put your cursor here and then hit Command and Enter or Control and Enter. It does create a variable name X, capital X, and assigns a value of 5. And let's assume that I would like to run this whole chunk of the code, right? And in that case, I do select the chunk that I would like to run. And again, I hit Command and Enter, right? What it does is it takes everything here, it runs it, right? So it says 3 plus 7 is 10. It again reassigns value to capital X as 5 and small x to 3, and it stops there, okay? So yeah, let's keep going. So if you just enter capital X and hit Command and Enter, it is going to display the value of capital X, right? Capital X is currently 5, and same here for small x. It is going to display the value of small x because we just assigned a value of 3 to it. You can also do like fractional values. And let's create a variable whose name is a with 3.5 as a value. And it does that too, and it adds it on top of my values with our variable list. All right. You can also create simple text variables. Like in this case, b is going to be a variable, and it's going to take only characters or text, and its value is going to be hello r, right? And this point forward is going to be a comment. R is not going to keep this in the name of the variable, and it's only going to keep hello r, and then we put the text. If you are using a string variable like this one, you put it in quotation, right? So that we can tell R that this is just the whole text that we would like to keep in a variable. Let's do the same thing, Command and Enter. It creates a text variable and then string variable, and its value is hello R. We can also use logical or Boolean values. We can also store them in a variable in R. And it is going to be either true or false. So it's C in this case, it is true. And then it created a C variable with true Boolean indicators. All right, this will be the end of this video, and hopefully this shows you, what R is capable of. Of course, it is more than simple calculator, and we will take a look at what it can further do on the next video.